Hello. We're gonna look how to go from a horizontal bar chart to a vertical bar chart, just as an example to show a little bit what you can do and how you would do this within Figmata. So let's dive in. So last time we created this Figma element bar, or it was created for us, and we're now gonna make a new variant. So you go to properties and then create a variant, and then we call that vertical, while the other variant is horizontal. Quite often I prefer horizontal bar charts because if you have text, it's nicer to align it horizontally than vertically. So now the orientation is set to vertical. So how would we go about this? I think what is good is to first make it a little bit more clear that this is actually having the vertical axis being used to set the value. Then we can move all the elements accordingly. So this value, you will probably want to align it to the top. So center and top. And you might want to create it in such a way that the text is not limited by the element. And then you can delete this ellipse and delete this other ellipse as well. And then the name, similarly, you would center it horizontally and put it at the bottom. Also make it like this. And oh no, I moved it out. Yeah. And now we can look at the distance. So this is now 3 pixels, 5 pixels. This is also 5 pixels distance. So this is probably okay. So if we now go to this horizontal bar chart, there is something we could do. So we could make it the layout, we could make that like this. And we could select the elements and change them to vertical. So now we have the different elements over there, and they are aligned vertically. As you can see that the spacing between them needs to be more, or the width needs to be more, but we can fix that in the code. Perhaps also we can not round them off, because it's not really helpful for comparison. If we now go to edit Figmata. So basically the only thing we need to change in the code, so the code is still totally fine. The only difference is that we need to move everything from X scale to Y scale. So this is Y scale. This max value should be the max value. Was a mistake from last time. And then padding top and padding bottom are used. And the height. And instead of setting the X scale, it's the Y scale of the height. And then this we can sort of set to 30, for example. And that should do the job. So let's see how it looks. So now we see the bar chart being rendered almost correctly. It's interesting that there's always some surprise. So what you see here is how it should use so I hooked now the width. So the width is now related to the amount of elements that is there. And here you can decide if you want to center align, bottom align, top align, or how you want to align your elements. So I want to align them to the bottom, and here you basically have it. So what you could do is set the spacing a little bit further, and if you look at the spacing of the categories, it seems like it's not correct yet. let's go in. So it's to the bottom, it's the center. What is going on here? These are not center aligned. Yeah. So now you can see that these were first right aligned, but they should be center aligned. And here you have it. So here we moved from a horizontal bar chart to a vertical bar chart with some very basic steps. So no need to know a lot about programming to go into a different visualization. And of course you could imagine that you can also create other types of charts with this. So we could, for example, set the size of the width to something specific, or we could set the element dot set fill to some specific color based on some properties. So now we make sure you always select the frame. So right now it's a little bit of a bug. So if you now select the frame, it will go back to what you had before, which is annoying. So you lose the text you had. So you can now change the fill based on some properties. So what you could also do is 3 scale or so you can have some color scheme. So this is the scheme tableau. Observable 10. So this is a specific scheme for color. So we can, for example, also set the color to be related to the item name. And now you will see that the color changes based on the name. Of course, they are all different colored now because they have a different name. But we could add some type. And when we add this type, we can also make use of that type. So we say type. And what now will happen is that the color changes based on the type. So you can see that the first two categories are type A and the last three are type B. And this is a quick way to change the color based on some property. And you could do the same with the text. So if we now think that the name should also be and the child name, set fill. We also want to relate that to the item type. We'll see that that is matching as well. And of course you could now think about, okay, how do I make clear to the user that what these different colors mean? So you could do that by just adding an annotation somewhere. Of course, you can think about how you would want to do this. It's just a quick example of making clear that there's two different types. Probably it makes more sense to put it underneath in this case, because it makes it a bit more neat. So yeah, this is a quick way to move from a horizontal bar chart to a vertical bar chart.